Good morning. Thank you for joining me. I'm Kara, and this is Glazing with Amaco. And today I'm talking about our new ceramic inks, which have been out for a couple months, but I know that not everyone has seen all the things that the inks could do. Hi, Ingrid. It's great to have you here with us. I see that there are a number of people watching us this morning. And I did have a little bit of housekeeping to tell you about. Facebook has started deleting live videos after 30 days. So if you want to watch our older live streams, you can catch them on our YouTube channel. So go to YouTube at Amaco Brent, and you can find our live streams there. They should be under live. If any of them did not stream automatically to YouTube, they will be in the regular videos. Just so you know. Bonjour, Bernadette. We are... Hi, Marie. You will also notice that our videos have switched from Tuesdays to Thursdays. We had a little scheduling thing. So we will be coming live to you on alternating Thursdays, although sometimes we might have to move that. I think in 2 weeks we're going to go live on June 20th, which is a Friday. So tune in then. And in the meantime, what I have to present to you guys is the ceramic inks. So these are printing inks, and they are specifically meant for using on clay, but printer's inks are really, really thick so that they don't smudge and smear when you use them. So these are, oh, Marie says, watching you now on YouTube. That's great. We will try always to simultaneously stream to both Facebook and YouTube. So ceramic inks, people who've been using printmaking techniques with ceramics have either had to make their own inks or thicken up underglazes to make them the right consistency. So you'll notice that the ceramic inks are very thick, very, very thick, and almost like a paste. And that is so that they can go through the screen but not smudge or smear or bleed. But they can also be used with a number of other printing techniques, not just with silkscreens, but you can also use them with rubber stamps, you can use them with lino cuts, you can use them with stencils. They are really, really flexible. So, hi Sheila, hi Abby, hi Hannah. Jeff asks, do they come in pink? We don't have a specifically pink ink. However, they are fully mixable, and so you can mix. I'm looking to see if I have my white behind me, and I do not. So you can mix the red, bright red ceramic ink, and you can mix ceramic bright red and white. So they come in 8 colors, matte colors. They are jet black, white, bright red, bright orange, deep yellow, medium blue, turquoise, and hunter green. And those can all be mixed to create custom colors. You can also do ombres, so you can blend from one end of a screen or to another. You can use a sponge to kind of get different effects with the colors. And one of the things about the inks is that since they there's very little waste with the inks, because after you're done printing you can put them right back in the jar. Now of course if you've mixed them you might want to put them in a separate jar, but you put whatever's left over back in the jar. Very little waste. All wonderful things. So Kyle says of a streaming issue today. And yes, the colors can be intermixed. And do the colors match up with the colors of the same name in the Velvet Underglaze line? Kate asks, and yes, they absolutely do. So I'm going to show you some close-ups here. And you can see here, this is the turquoise. These are on 11M white stoneware. And this is the same as the turquoise of the same number and name in the Velvet Underglaze line. Here is deep yellow. And here is medium blue. Let me move this cup out of the way and you can see it a little better. So, really beautiful colors. There's my yellow. And these were all done with Silkscreens. So they can be done with a variety of shapes, with forms. You can use any kind of printing technique that you would use with ink, you can use with the ceramic inks. Here we have an ombre from the blue into the turquoise, and then just a little bit of each of the colors on this side with this hand-built teapot. So I am going to briefly send you over to Kenny to demonstrate how he did a screen printed mug. This was recorded earlier, and I will let you guys meet Kenny, and he will show you how this can be done. Hold on one moment here. Sorry, there we go. Here's Kenny.
Hello, I'm Kenny with Amaco. I'm Studio Tech here. Today I'm going to show you how to make this mug using the ceramic inks. Alright, so I've got my slab already prepared using Amaco's dark chocolate clay. Got my easy screen and my inks. So I'm going to put the white ink across the screen there and squeegee it across. Really transfer that design onto my slab. I'm going to peel that back. Oh yeah, that high contrast with that white with that dark clay body is nice. So I'm going to do the same thing again with that butterfly. Squeegee that ink on, peel it back to reveal. Now I'm going through and I'm beveling the edges so I can slip and score them together. So here I'm scoring. Add a little water. This chocolate clay is super smooth and very rich looking, and glazes look really nice on it. I add the plastic. It allows me to not smudge it while I'm trying to put this cup together, try and get that cylinder shape. Now I'm going to work on the bottom of the mug. So get that slab compressed. And then in order for me to figure out where I need to slip and score, I'll slip and score on the bottom here of the mug. So score it up, add a little water. And I can use this to mark on my slab where I'm going to score to get this bottom attached. So get it nice and gooey, lots of water and slip, and squish that cup on there. Using a damp brush, I'm cleaning up the inside, and now I can peel the plastic back to reveal our design. I'm getting the bottom cut out and trying to fix that lip again. Try and keep it round. Now I'm working on the handle. It's going to be a real skinny tube. I'm going to bend. So once I get this cut here, I'll put it together and bend it up. And I've got this little handle. So we'll put that onto our mug right on the seam. Help hide that seam a little bit. Slip and score handle and the cup. And then really press and wiggle make sure you get that attached. So it's a little gooey and messy right now, but as it sits up, I'll be able to go back and refine it a bit. Here I am adding a couple holes into the handle since it's hollow. And here it is all cleaned up and finished. This is still greenware. It's just all been cleaned up now that it's had a chance to sit. So you can really see how that ink shows up nicely on our dark clay. So we used our white matte inks, and then we used our zinc-free clear over the inks and on the clay. And then we wanted a fun glaze to kind of pop with it, so we used the Satin Matte's Mint. So want something kind of bright, but also keep it earthy.
I'm back. So, thank you for watching that. Kenny did, and this is the finished mug. I'm going to show you up close. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? So, some of the comments that I saw during this was, let's see, Marie was asking if you can thin them with a little water. Absolutely, you can. Works great. And also asks, the product that Kenny's using is thinner than what I had in the jar I showed before. It is a little bit thinner, and yes, you can add a little water to it. I like it to be a little on the thick side, but that works just fine. I'm gonna come back, and so this little mug, it's absolutely beautiful. I love the Satin Mattes as a liner too. They're gorgeous. Hannah asks, is there a reason to use a matte ink versus a gloss? The matte inks are very closely related to the velvet underglazes. So at the moment, all of our inks are matte. And so they are going to, if you don't put a glaze over them, they will be dry like the clay itself. What is the price? You need to check our website because off the top of my head I do not know the price on them. I'm sorry. Marie also asks, how long does it take for the product to dry on the slab? And it depends on how soft the clay is too, because of course the moisture in the clay is going to make a difference. So I'm going to show you a quick and easy way to make a plate, which I already showed you the blue and white plate, this one, and this is how it's made. $27 for a jar. As I said, it is economical in the sense that there's very little waste when you're using the inks. So let me show you what I got. I'm going to switch over to our overhead. Okay, so I have my slab and I've smoothed it out. I have my screen. This is from Easy Screen. This is one of their screens that you can order, but you can also make your own screens, and there are also companies that will make custom screens for you. So you can use all kinds of stuff, and we also layer some of the screen printing, which I love doing. So I'm going to take my screen and lay it over my wet slab, and I'm gonna get some of the ink out of my jar, and Kenny's a lot tidier about printing than I am. I tend to be a little bit messier. Sorry about that. And I'm going to take a soft rubber rib and I spread it across the screen where the slab is. So I will point out that if you're using Easy Screens, I always do this with the shiny and darker side down. Seems to work better. Yes, Hannah says Easy Screen makes custom also. Yes, they do. And they also sell kits where you can make your own. which I really, really appreciate. I want to do that sometime. There we go. And then I peel that back. Look at that. Isn't that lovely? And then all this excess that's on my rib, it just goes right back into the jar. I can close that up. Now, what I'm going to show you is going to be pretty quick. Marie says she loves the way Kenny made that handle. Isn't that a beautiful handle? And it feels nice too. And the mint with the dark chocolate clay is just such a nice contrast on that mug. So this is a piece of plastic wrap, just like you would use in your kitchen. And I spread it over my slab very gently because this is still pretty soft and pretty wet. And then, this is going to be kind of funny. Whoa, sorry about that. I just whacked my camera. There we go. It's a big piece of foam, sorry. So I'm going to take my slab and take it off of the board that I have it on. There we go. And the plastic wrap helps to keep this from getting smudged while I'm working. Sheila says, can you use the inks with stencils? Absolutely. So I have a GR Pottery Form on my piece of foam, and my slab is bigger than my GR form, but that's okay. I'm going to cut the edge to fit. And I just poof into the foam. And I'm actually going to let this set upside down because it didn't puff nearly as much as I want it to because I'm short and this is a weird angle. So I have my plate. I'm going to keep it upside down on the form until it's a little stiffer, and I will post a photo later. I'm kind of mushing it down around there. So I did want to say, yes, you can absolutely use the inks with a number of different techniques. So if you wanted to use like a rubber stamp, you can use a brayer, and my glass for spreading out the ink was just way too big, so I don't have it with me today. But spread out your ink on a glass or a ceramic tile that's really smooth. Use the brayer to get a nice smooth surface, and then spread it on your rubber stamp and stamp it on your clay. Works great. I also have this foam stamp. Again, you can either just spread it on here, but I think that it would be better with a brayer so that you don't get it too thick in the edges. And I did bring a stencil. They work great with stencils. Just use a sponge to spread it around. You don't want it to get too thick. Another thing you can do, stenciling, screening, whatever you like, is use it with a jelly plate. So you can possibly find videos where people are using jelly plates to, sorry, this is going to be noisy. Use a jelly plate to get a screened image on an already made piece of clay, like a disc. Sorry, there's my jelly plate. They're kind of sticky. And so the idea behind a jelly plate is you screen onto the jelly plate and then you roll your piece onto it and it will go into the surface. So any kind of like inconsistencies in the surface, it works fantastic. So yes, any kind of technique you can think of for printing, you can use with the ceramic inks. So if you're going to use, they work most easily, you get the best definition when you work directly on wet clay. You can also do it on dry greenware or on bisque, but sometimes because of inconsistencies in the clay surface, it's not always easy to get the best definition. The best way to get really strong definition, bright colors, is to use the inks over a stiff glaze, like a Celadon or a satin matte. They work great for that. Hi, Susan. So, other questions that we have had, you can find them at your local distributor, or you can order them from our website. You can mix certain colors. As I was saying earlier about mixing colors, we actually have a product video on our YouTube page that shows mixing a purple with the blue and the red to make this kind of really lovely lavender color. Another thing that we have done with this, and it works great, is doing underglaze transfers. So you can make your own underglaze transfers, whatever kind of technique you want to do, whether it's silk screening, stamping, stenciling, do it onto rice paper or a really, really, really thin newsprint, and you can then transfer those onto other pieces. So I'm going to let you all go. I don't see other questions coming up, and we do have links in the chat, and we will be putting more links up. Again, I will be posting this plate when it comes out of the kiln. Really excited to see all of these come out. And if you have any questions, you can always drop them in the chat. We'll respond to them offline later. Thank you to everybody. Please thank Kenny for his wonderful video. I know that it's his first time doing videos, but he is a phenomenal teacher. So we are really excited to have him demonstrating for you all. So thank you again for joining me on my glaze adventures. Happy glaze!